ancient city is calling. Oh, arise, sons and daughters of the land.
This is a beautiful story of Edo State, a story of a new Edo State, affectionately called the heartbeat of the nation, a worthy title and through the years of unifying political actions, innovative leadership, and as a welcoming home for all Nigerians.
To service now, the glory of the new Edo nation will forever be our pride. Beautiful Edo, glorious.
Nestled within the coolest longitudes and latitudes in Nigeria, on a tilted plain which slopes hydrologically south, the state lies at an elevation between 500 feet in the south and more than 1,800 feet in its northern boundaries, where the floating hills of Ososo, Somorika, and Akoko Edo mesmerize with high solar energy reception. The southern plain of the state is the most tropicalized part in Nigeria, with unique sub-equatorial climate. The result is a beautiful land of rich vegetation, high rainfall, favorable winds, and water bodies. These climatic elements have stimulated the growth of a rich rainforest, which is evergreen all year, supporting farming, which is one of the major economic activities of the people and a natural habitat for diverse wildlife. Prior to its creation over 30 years ago, following the splitting of the old Edo State, Edo State and its people paraded very impressive credentials and illuminating stories of fortuitous foundations, determined resilience, with a well-documented history of creative genius, artistic originality, and a high propensity for experimenting. With ancient Benin City as its capital, the state has a long history of civilization dating back to prehistoric times, as exemplified in its arts, festivals, and culture. The main ethnic groups in the state are the Beninese, Esan, Esakos, Owas, and Akoko Edos. In spite of his great human talents and proud legacies, the story of Edo State hasn't always been smooth. For a long time, the state suffered from weak governance, low investment confidence, and capital flight. Education took a hit. Most pupils in state-owned public schools were unable to compete effectively with their counterparts, as the basic education sector was largely
met on ground. Teachers selling in school. The extortion was also very high. That was part of what we met on ground. Illegal collection of fees. Some of our teachers were now selling things in school. I remember, I will never forget, I walked into a class one day in the rainy season. It was raining apparently. It was raining that day. And it was
was totally broken. But we did not know how and where to start fixing the system. But I was convinced that to rebuild a house, to rebuild any structure, you have to start from the base. And the base of our educational system is basic education. And so that's why I've always said, if we have 100 naira to spend on education, 40 naira of that 100 must be spent on basic education. Because if you build the foundation solid, there's nothing you cannot put on that foundation. I found that we had begun to focus much more on the paper qualifications rather than on learning itself, on education itself. So we found the solution in technology. A technology that had been tested and proven in some other parts of the world. It wasn't cheap, but because of our commitment, we decided to. We negotiated hard, we did all the things we had to do in the last 1 year, and we were able to strike a deal. And that is the result of what you are seeing today. That is one reason why we are committed, whatever it will take, to make sure that every child who finished basic school in Edo State has the capacity to not only read, write, but to think clearly and logically and can do anything they want to do after basic education. This is a pilot for the first 300 schools. It is very important that the communities take ownership I know how much we spend renovating schools in Edo State. But if you go around today, almost all the schools have been vandalized. You must let me know, let government know when people encroach on school land. We now have what we call a fencing squad. We are going to fence all our schools. And anybody who has built their houses in a school premises, please, that house now belongs to that school. Because I am going to fence that house into that school. We have done it in Benin Technical College already. If you have built on school land, we want to thank you for your donation to the school. In order to ensure that these children come to school, we are going to be working with local governments to set up what in some states they have called educational marshals. If a child is found loitering when they should be in school, that child parents will be arrested and fined. On that note, I have a singular pleasure and privilege of launching the Edo State Basic Education Sector Transformation, EdoBEST. Congratulations.
EdoBEST was
With the Edo Basic Education Sector Transformation Program, the way we teach is truly transformed. My teaching is driven by technology. My content is always ready for my students. That's real progress.
EdoBEST has brought modern teaching techniques into our school and classrooms. I am now a digital teacher. I arrive school on time, I mark attendance on time, and I complete all my lessons for the day. I am a digital teacher.
With EdoBEST, teachers training is more relevant to my needs as a teacher to enable me to support my learners better. We also have online certification courses that earn us accolades on a global professional platform.
I am not just a digital teacher. I am more aware of my responsibilities to my students' welfare. I understand my safeguarding responsibilities. Whatever happens to my students outside of school is my business.
Do you know that in our EdoBEST schools, learning is no longer confined within the four walls of the classroom? With EdoBEST at home, learning extends far beyond the schools to homes and communities, and that is the power of technology.
We are grateful to the Governor, Godwin Obaseki, for recognizing the vital role teachers play in building a sustainable education for the children of the state. We love you, Mr. Governor.
Edo is different. Our governor is special. I am so happy this transformation in the teaching profession has started in my time. We have made great improvements.
As you may know, the world is knowledge-driven nowadays. Developments are taking place at a very fast pace. And it is through education, formal or informal, whether it is formal educational system or apprenticeship,
heralding a new era of excellent history.
We have 7 state-owned tertiary institutions in Edo.
No governor has played so notable a part in so many important fields of development activities and governance as Governor Godwin Obaseki. As is often said, crisis is not just about the state of affairs, but about decisive action. Thanks to Obaseki.